This week, Eamonn Holmes, 63, gave an explosive interview to his new employer GB News. He made several scathing claims about Philip Schofield, who has just recently left ITV daytime staple This Morning in light of controversies coming to the surface. Eamonn didn't hold back as he slammed ITV, This Morning, and Philip as well as his once close co-host, Holly Willoughby. Speaking to GB News' Dan Wootton, Eamonn's revelations have led to further shock surrounding the sensational news. While more about the scandal continues and This Morning's future remains uncertain, Express.co.uk has rounded up the most shocking claims made by Eamonn in the bombshell interview. Eamonn and Ruth Langsford had been used during Philip's coming out announcement back in early 2020. Philip decided to publicly come out as gay on This Morning after being married to his wife Stephanie Lowe for 27 years. While the moment came as surprising news to fans of the show, it was presented in a way that suggested Philip wanted to respect his true self and inspire others. According to Eamonn though, this hadn't been the case, and the coming out was Philip's way of masking controversies from being leaked. This Morning, under the guise of Philip and Holly, is a very false existence, Eamonn stated. He went on to recall Philip's announcement on This Morning. "Right, so I'm driving in," Eamonn explained, adding, "Philip will be arriving to appear don't he program today?" I asked, "Why?" They replied, "Oh, we can't tell you. Holly will be coming in as well." So anyway, he comes into our dressing room and he falls down on his knees crying and I say to him, "What's the matter?" He replied, gay. And I say, "Is that all? What is this? I thought had killed a child or something." Eamonn added he and his wife and This Morning co-host Ruth Langsford were very supportive of Philip's announcement but now feel they were used. Miss Holly took over with a long statement, Eamonn went on. "They knew in advance, we were taken for fools." He revealed he and Ruth were asked if they wanted scripts and added, "Then it goes to those two in a choreographed way, knowing how false they are. I'm sure they rehearsed it for days and who was going to hug." Holly was very specific about where she sat, where I sat, where Ruth sat. The Loose Women panel didn't like Philip, except for one person. Eamonn's wife Ruth still works on ITV's midday show, Loose Women. He explained how none of the stars of the show liked Philip other than one, unnamed person because of the doors he could open for her. He went on to describe an awkward moment from 2019 in which Ruth appeared to be cut off by Philip when she was explaining to ITV viewers who would be appearing on the show. As for the Loose Women, in the year that you're talking about, the panel that existed, I would say there was probably a minority of one that actually liked Philip Schofield, he claimed. Don't miss. Aunt McPartlin cries don't know if I'm okay after falling during BGT live show, video, Carol Vorderman in fiery rant at Michelle Mona as she reignites years-long feud. Latest, Holly Willoughby breaks silence and slams Philip Schofield's lies. Reaction, queue-jumping lies. Perhaps the first time the public turned against Philip and Holly on a large scale was back in September after the late Queen Elizabeth II died and the duo famously cut the queue to see the monarch lying in state. The action led to the well-known Queuegate scandal and saw hundreds calling for the P/heir to be axed from This Morning. They were there to make a film on the Queen's funeral. Have you seen the film? Eamonn asked Dan. He added, apparently they were there for that. That's the official line given by the editor of the program. Now unless there is any documented evidence of this, I would put it to you that that is another lie. So Philip Schofield admits he lies. ITV Live, the place is a den of iniquity, an absolute den of iniquity. Ruth is in touch with Philip's young lover. Philip admitted after stepping away from This Morning that had an affair with a young male colleague before coming out and while still married to his wife. The co-star was a runner on the show, and Eamonn explained, "Ruth and I particularly looked after him. He never once talked to us about any relationship, but we knew he was in a bad way, and he was in a bad way fragilely. There's an incredible duty of care that needs to go towards that young man." When asked if he was still in touch with the man in question, Eamonn revealed, "I'm not, Ruth is. I think life's tough for him." ITV cover-up. Philip's affair was totally covered up by ITV, according to Eamonn. He fumed, "It's an illusion, it's an illusion," and went on, "It's a total cover-up." With Schofield talking about those who speak out against him, namely me, Amanda Holden, Dan Wootton, "You'll be included in the toxicity, Dr. Ranj. You simply think, no mate, you've had it all your way for far too long." Holly is faking Alison Hammond friendship lately. Holly and Alison seem to have grown close, with the latter all over Holly's Instagram posts and smiley snaps of the pair. However, Eamonn believes this is another illusion curated by Holly. He remarked, "This nonsense about Holly Willoughby and Alison Hammond as her best friend and, Holly, was at Alison's birthday party. Alison Hammond goes to Holly Willoughby's select nights out with her friends. This wouldn't have happened 2 years ago. Are you kidding? Alison Hammond has been on the program for 13 years, and I'm sure there was very little contact between her and the presenters." Philip used ITV-funded cars to drive lover from home. Eamonn also accused ITV of paying for cars used by Philip to transport his young lover from his home to the studio. "I didn't know, but I've subsequently found out from a very, very good source, because he, the runner, would arrive much earlier in the morning than I would for the program, that he was delivered from Philip's London home," he claimed. Eamonn continued, "Usually on a Friday morning, because Thursday was playtime when he and Philip would hit the town, and then he obviously stayed overnight. There are records to show that he was brought in the next day separately in cars paid for by ITV." Express.co.uk has contacted ITV for comment on the claims made by Eamonn.